This show is proudly brought to you by the #Me Network.
Sitting on the bedroom floor at my mum and dad's house, ready to talk about video games like I was a 13-year-old.
Mum and dad's bedroom.
It's all wrong.
Welcome along to GameCast, the Trans-Tasman gaming podcast, brought to you by #me.co.nz in association with thosegamers.com. I am V8 Matty.
So, I mean, I've only had one game in the last week that has absolutely consumed my time, and I understand, Ben, you have had a chance to fucking play it now?
Mate, I've played it a lot.
A lot. So we're talking about Until Dawn.
PS4 exclusive from Supermassive Games.
And I tell you what, I haven't had a chance to write my review for this, but I did read your review on thosegamers.com this morning, and I tell you what, bro, I can't agree with you more on almost everything you said about this game.
Brilliant.
We'll have to plagiarise it for our website, Fid.
Oh, totally. I'll just chuck my name at the bottom.
What
I'll do is I'll copy and paste it, chuck it on #me.co.nz, and then I'll just put, and Fid agrees with all this.
Yeah.
And then
No, don't even do that, bro. Just do what some of the other sites did with the fucking...
I'll just
with your video.
I'll just do an IGN, steal your video, chuck it on my website, and say I did this.
Yeah, just do the same with the review, mate. Just word for word, put it out there as if you've written it, and it's all good.
For those who don't have no idea what we're joking about here, you should actually explain this before we go into talking about the game.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, I was lucky enough to get a debug PS4 with 3 hours worth of gameplay of Until Dawn, and as part of that coverage, I was allowed to take a 10-minute video from the preview. So I did that, posted it up online on YouTube. It went nuts for hits, and then I noticed a comment saying, "Shame some people have copied your video." I do some digging and find about 7 websites in the world have stolen it, including some guy who reposted it on YouTube as his own.
Bastard.
Some websites, including the likes of Games Radar, posted a link to his version, and then just when you thought it couldn't get worse, I discovered that IGN didn't even bother posting to a pirated version of a YouTube video. They literally took it and uploaded it to their website as their own.
So this is IGN, quite possibly the world's biggest gaming website?
The world's biggest gaming website, yes, IGN.
That's a pretty good nod in your direction, isn't it?
It would have been if they'd credited me.
That's bullshit. Have you heard back from either of these people? Like, what's happened?
None of them are acknowledging my requests for comment or what would be the word? Not compensation.
Credit?
But yeah, credit and, some sort of public acknowledgement that they stole my shit.
Yeah.
Maybe you could send them an email, create a new email address with the name of some bogus law firm, and send them an email from that saying that the legal representation, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, this is Pete from thoseLawyers.com.
I was gonna say, this is Pete from McAwesome, Bartley and Partners. And this is, we're unhappy and we're a totally legit law firm.
That's right, and we want $10 million, and at the same time we've also discovered that you had a Nigerian uncle who has left you an inheritance.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
Absolutely perfect.
So that happened in the lead up to Until Dawn, but then the game dropped, and as I had suspected from the moment I first got to play 15 minutes of the game. It is fucking brilliant.
It is an amazing game. Funny thing is this was one of those games that when it was first announced, it looked so good and sounded so good that I started almost doubting whether it was going to be good. Like, you go into these games with that have all this hype, with this massive pull us off.
Yeah.
The game, like, in the build up to it, the game looked amazing. They started talking about basically the amount of layers of gameplay that they had involved in it. And then when you found out the actors they had involved, you sort of think, well, if you're throwing this much of a budget at the talent, how much money are you going to have left to actually build a good game?
Exactly.
So when you look at all of that, I got more excited and more excited, but I always had that trepidation there that it was not going to be a good game at all. So I'd almost set myself up for failure that, okay, I'm going to expect that it's not going to live up to the hype. But it's an amazing game.
What makes it an amazing game? Because I don't have a PS4, so I'm missing out on this fun.
Yeah, Ben?
Well, I mean, so it's survival horror. I mean, if you're a fan of horror in general, then look, it's incredibly cliche. The story's pretty cliche. A bunch of teenagers are up in an isolated sort of house up in the woods. Obviously, there's a killer floating around. That you've
Nobody
got
makes effort to get the power turned on at the house.
That's right. There's the characters are what you'd expect from a B grade horror. You've got like your nerd, you've got your popular kids, you've got your geeks, you've got the bitchy girl, you've got all of those characters, but you get the ability to control all the major interactions between the characters. So unlike a movie where you're just like, fuck, I wish someone would just tell that bitch what I think. Well, you can. And every single interaction that you make in the game has a direct impact on what happens to those characters down the track. You might not see it happen immediately, but later on, it could be a few minutes later, it could be maybe an hour or so later, what you did earlier is going to change what happens to a character or multiple characters.
You're either going to be stoked with that decision you made a couple of hours ago, or you're going to have instant regret.
Exactly. And
or in some cases, I had instant regret, like within seconds of making that decision.
Yeah, it's crazy. And even finding or not finding objects has an impact. It's the amount of different choices that can be made is like nothing else I've ever seen. And you could have your favorite character and think, I will make choices that are going to keep this person alive, but you have no real idea whether that decision will keep them alive or not. You might think you're doing the right thing for them when in fact you're not at all.
Yeah. So it's completely based on the butterfly effect.
Exactly. It messes with your head all the way through.
Did you have any moments playing it where, because I mean it's broken up into episodes.
Yeah.
Did you have any moments playing it where an episode finished and you stopped the game and thought, okay, I actually need a break for half an hour to get over what I've just been through?
I sort of did, but then at the same time, I just had to get back in there and keep playing.
It's one of those games that massively absorbs you into the story.
Yeah, and even the little bits that break up the episodes, the time with the analyst.
Oh my lord, that messes with you.
He is one creepy bastard,
See, even the decisions in those sections, they affect the game as well.
Exactly. Every decision you make affects the game. And so the replay value is ridiculously high because you can go through, play again, make different decisions, and get completely different results.
Yeah. Cinematically, the game is beautiful.
Amazing.
The camera angles actually reminded me a lot of Resident Evil and Silent Hill back in the day.
Yep.
So I found a lot of nods to those original sort of survival horror classics, but then it's still not in the same vein as those games, but there's definitely nods to them.
Yeah, it sort of takes the best of the survival horror gaming genre combined with the key elements that make a kick-ass B-grade horror movie and then fuses that all together with a choose-your-own-adventure concept.
So
Yeah.
I'm picking up that you guys like this game a little bit.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.5. The only thing that stopped me from giving it a 10, which I'm still kind of not convinced I did the right thing there, but I stand by it now, was just the first probably 2 hours are quite slow. There's a decent amount of build up as you get into it, learn a bit about the characters, but once you get over that, it just turns into something completely different. So
the game changes direction, I would say, massively twice in the game.
yeah,
There's two massive twists in the game, and we've got so many embargoes on what we can still say about the game due to the content. But amazing. I would have given it personally probably about a 9.5 as well, but I'm actually going to go for a 9.
yeah.
Only because there's one thing about the game that irritated the crap out of me, and it's the frame rate dropping out later on in the game.
Yeah, there is the odd frame rate issue. I've seen a few different iterations of Until Dawn. I saw the 15-minute preview from E3, which had quite a few frame rate issues. I've seen the preview version, which had some frame rate issues, but not as much as earlier. And then I've now seen this final cut where there's still some persisting frame rate issues, but I feel like they're still tweaking it. So I fully expect that a patch is going to come sooner rather than later that's going to tidy all that up as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the only reason why I wouldn't give it any more than a 9.
Yeah.
And the only reason, because I mean, I think they've nailed the story, they've nailed the gameplay. It's story-wise, I think this is probably the first. It's taken what? Okay, I thought the Order 1886 was the first great cinematic title that I'd seen.
Mm.
And I think this takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah, it does.
And
it's amazing.
we're starting to see truly cinematic games where you would be as happy sitting down watching someone else play the game as you are playing the game.
Yeah, we're starting to slowly see this emergence of almost a new genre, which is like I don't know what you call almost like a movie game, just
It's
about.
a playable movie almost.
Exactly, yeah. And I like it.
Yeah, I'm digging it. This is, for me personally, I think this is probably game of the year for me
Yeah,
so far.
it's going to be very hard to convince me that there's a better game.
But
I can't think of a better game that's come out this year, and I'm struggling to think of a game that's still to come which could top this.
yeah, I agree 100%.
So, Supermassive Games, if you're listening, thanks for tuning in. And secondly, expect some Game of the Year awards in your.
If they do not get a Game of the Year award this at the end of the year when the awards are done, I think they're robbed.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a copy to give away.
We do. Yeah. So we've got a copy which has so many ways to enter. It's not funny. So,
We're making it nice and simple.
yeah, well, giving the people to, since we're basically doing as a joint sort of Gamecast, those gamers, hashtag me thing, it wouldn't be fair just to restrict people to one form of entry. So basically, head on over to thosegamers.com, hashtag me, find the post about the game. Feel free to drop a comment and tell us who you think or who your favourite character is, who you would like to see die in the game, and then feel free to head over to our Facebook and Twitter pages, make similar comments, and you'll go in the draw to win a copy of the game, which will be drawn next Wednesday in a week's time.
I'll tell you what, I'll chuck a link to the promotion in the description of the podcast, so it'd be nice and easy to find.
Perfect.
Superb.
And Matt, what have you been playing? You've had a game that we've been waiting to talk about as well.
Well, I've almost gone to sleep during the Until Dawn Jizzfest. No, I've played a little bit of Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Yes, Xbox exclusive.
Yes. You've played that as well?
I have certainly given it a run for its money. Yep.
Yeah. Now, had you played it earlier, the earlier versions of the game?
Yeah, I played a little bit of Gears of War back in the day. This is, nearly a decade ago now, 2006 when it was first released.
Yeah. When was it released? November the 7th, 2006.
There we go. Coming up 9 years.
So it's original version's been out there for a long time. And I see, I mean, the game released yesterday, the 25th of August. And I've been looking online at a few people's reviews, and it's getting a little bit of doubt.
Yeah?
I was expecting a lot more positive reviews, but some of them are not that flash, to be honest.
There seems to be a big range of scores for it, isn't there?
Yeah, they're all over the place. So some people, I mean, genuinely really like it and give it a good rating, and then they have a few cons at the end of their review. Others have just not been very friendly. I've seen a lot of 7s being thrown about.
Yep.
Now, it's hard for me to judge how it is compared to the original because I never played the original. But I think the game looks really nice. It's certainly fun to play. It's reminds me of Halo a bit. With the I don't know, maybe just the way the guns are.
Yeah, it was because when it first came out, it basically influenced nearly a whole generation of games to come. So it took, the third person shooter, combined it with that sort of take cover style of gameplay.
Ducking behind objects and that sort of thing.
Exactly, yep. And just put together a really fun package of third-person shooter mayhem, really, and it worked really well with good controls, and pretty much all of that has carried over into the new version. So it gets a fresh lick of paint with the 1080p visuals and the frame rate upgrades.
Well, they reckon 60 frames a second, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And where you see a difference from the original was back in the day, for everything that was good about Gears of War, the movement of the soldiers, they're big guys and they felt really big, and they were a bit clumsy and clunky to move around. It's very easy to get stuck against a wall or something. But I think with the upgrade here, they've sort of tweaked that. So whilst these are still big guys, they just feel a bit more fluid.
A bit more nimble.
Yep. the movement just feels more natural, and you just don't get stuck as much.
So it's a bit more finesse. They've polished it up a bit.
Yeah, they've refined it. So this was basically the Coalition Studios' first crack since they got given the Gears franchise. So it's in some ways quite a good way for them to do it, to go back and get familiar with Gears by redoing the original.
Mm-hmm.
It's come
so the original story is the same as this one, is it?
Yeah, it's the same. It's basically a remaster of the very first game.
Okay.
Now, Gears of War has never been particularly strong on the storytelling side, and the narrative is near non-existent, I suppose. There's not a lot of dialogue between characters, a lot of one-liners. You get that story that we've seen 1,000 times, that they're the back's against the wall. The guys shouldn't be able to win, really. They're overpowered. But for all the faults of the story, the gameplay more than makes up for it. And it's all broken down into short sequences. Again, I suppose trying to deliver an almost movie-like experience into the game as well.
So have you done much with the online side of it?
Yeah, not too much. I mean, I've had a look at the likes of co-op, and I still feel that co-op is one of the best ways to play Gears of War. It works really well, and getting in there with two is just so much fun. You could lose a whole evening/night just playing the campaign in co-op. Competitive multiplayer, not so much, because it's really hard to do that when there's, and when you get an early access copy.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even bother trying. I just played the campaign for a couple of hours. That's all I've had the chance to do. But I enjoyed what I played. I see some of the issues people were picking on were a bit of dumb AI.
Yeah, that's sort of all too familiar across the whole shooting genre, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I thought it was a little bit picky, to be fair.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
I think it would probably vary as well, depending on what difficulty level you've got it set to as well, as to
yeah,
how clever they come across.
yeah. If you're playing it on retard mode, then the AI is going to be crap.
Yeah, they're going to be wandering around and standing there while you run up to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel that by today's standard, the maps and the level design just feels a bit tired and old. For me, like, it's hard to put
Yeah.
my finger on it, but I feel like there are games out there today that have a much more interesting map design.
Mm.
But look, there's not much you can do with that because they're remaking an old game, so you have to keep the maps as they were.
I still think there's plenty of good gameplay in there if you're a fan of that type of game, that genre, or a fan of Gears in general. You'll probably enjoy the game.
Absolutely, this is a great reintroduction to the Gears series, and I'm sure it's going to fuel the fires for those that are waiting on the new Gears game to come too.
Well, that's right. I mean, there's a lot of these franchises now that are rebooting the old ones to tide them over while they build up the anticipation for the new game, the
Yeah,
shiny new next gen exclusives.
that's right. Yeah, and I suppose for a studio like Coalition Squad, it's almost like a way they can test the waters with their coding and all that sort of stuff in this version of the game. Maybe do a bit of a test for the multiplayer, almost use this multiplayer as like a little
Like a beta.
like a beta, test out the servers, ready for the big dance.
The big dance.
That's right, yeah.
Ah, Very good.
Hey, while we're on betas, I've got some beta bitching to do.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Back to the Street Fighter beta once again.
Oh, I knew it was going to be Street Fighter.
The Street Fighter beta, okay, we all got screwed on the Street Fighter beta the first time. They did the beta globally, did the stress test, it all fell to bits and turned to shit. None of us got to play.
Yeah.
So were you aware, Ben, that on Saturday morning, the beta was reopened for New Zealand at 3 fucking a.m.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Till 11 a.m. for those who wanted a little sleep in.
Yeah.
There you go.
What a fucking ridiculous time to have the beta open, though. I missed out on the whole thing.
3 a.m. Oh, no, that's ridiculous. Capcom.
I mean, granted, I'd been playing until dawn until like 2 a.m. and I finished that and decided, I can't wait another hour. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Oh, that's Capcom. Give yourself an uppercut.
Yeah, I did think that was absolute bullshit, though. Just a crazy time of fucking day to have it.
I bet in the States and stuff they wouldn't have done it at that time, would they?
Well, they timed us apparently to be on the same time as the UK.
Oh, that's handy considering it's the opposite time of day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what a great time to test the server's capacity when everyone's asleep.
Yeah. Look at that. It works perfectly when half the world's not playing it.
Oh, yeah, it works great. Look at that. Oh, shit.
Look, we fixed it. As
Yep.
long as we only have half the world playing it at once, it works fine.
That's right. Yeah, we found that if we have 400 people playing at a time, it's great.
Yeah. They have announced, though, that they're going to be doing another worldwide beta in the same vein as the original beta was meant to be, like basically a 4 or 5 day beta.
Nice. Yeah, they're confident after that 3 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Why wouldn't you be, though? I mean, it went without a hitch by the sounds.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it did give them a chance to work out those bugs, though, and we do get a great beta next time around.
Hopefully.
What about Black Ops 3? Did anyone have a go on the beta for that?
Oh, no, I didn't. I was so
I did have a turn.
Fid, you surprised me.
I know. I did have a turn, and it looks okay, it plays okay, but I'm not a fan of these titles. So it was a complete waste on me.
There you go.
Yeah. Things I can tell you that are different. The jumping, they've brought back the double jumping thing, but it's not the same as in Advanced Warfare.
That's right. I understand you can control the length of your bursts now.
Yeah.
Oh, very important.
They've got the wall running and all that sort of stuff back as well.
She loves it when you can control the length of your bursts.
Exactly.
But to me, like, not being a fan of these sort of games, it feels like more of the same.
Yeah, because you're a weirdo.
No, I don't know. Like, is this how?
So if I was playing Black Ops 3 with you and I ran around going Hadouken, you'd love it, wouldn't you? You'd love it.
Well, the thing is this? I'd be curious to actually hear what Call of Duty fans do think of it, because I know when a game style of game that I like comes out and it doesn't feel like it's any improvement on the last one, I'm disappointed. So I assume that Call of Duty fans are going to be the same. They're going to be disappointed by this title.
COD fans, first FPS fans in general are some of the most fickle fans in the world. They'll complain that there's no originality coming out in a game, and then the moment you change something, they're up in arms that it's shithouse.
Yeah, this isn't my Call of Duty.
Exactly, that's kind of what happened with Advanced Warfare, and I felt that they were hard done by. Fans have been screaming out for something different. They bring out this new level of verticality thanks to the exosuits, and then everyone's like, "This is bullshit. I hate it. This is not."
And the funny thing was, that was the closest I ever got to enjoying a Call of Duty game was Advanced Warfare.
Oh yeah, I had a great time with it.
It really did grow on me though. I didn't like it at first because I was just getting snotted from every angle instead of just in front and behind. They were flying over the top of me and shooting me. But I got used to it, and I found that I did enjoy it a lot. But I still really want to see a next-gen version of the old style Call of Duty games.
I want to take it back to the original World War One, World War Two style shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's lovely to have jetpacks and exosuits and fancy laser guns, but at the end of the
Let's go
day,
back, get
I
grimy
would
with
like to
it.
get a nice, realistic one where you're back and you have to cock your gun every time you want to shoot someone.
Yeah.
Where 1v1 takes about a minute because you're both furiously loading something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the funny thing is that you're not the only person I know who said this. It seems to be a common one that people are like, you know what, we've done the future, we've gone through our head tallest exoskeleton shit. Let's go back and get grimy and fucking old school with it again.
Yeah, and ditch the zombies. Shit, I'm over zombies.
Yeah.
I'm over fucking zombies in general.
I still don't get why they need to have zombies in Call of Duty.
I tell you what, just quickly going back to Until Dawn, that's probably the one thing that I found absolutely refreshing about the game is it's a survival horror game where there's not a zombie in sight.
Yes.
God, it was nice and refreshing.
So who's eating all the kids?
Are they being eaten or are they being slaughtered?
Who knows?
No, I don't know. I don't have a PS4.
There's things we can't say.
When's it out? Is it not out yet?
It's out now.
No, it is out right now, but we're actually embargoed on what we can talk about in the content of the game as well as the actual,
Until
the
when,
game.
though? When does that run out?
I would say once everybody's played it, we'd be able to start talking about it.
Once everybody's played it.
Between 3 a.m. and 11 a.m. we're allowed to talk about it.
No, because the game is such an intense story-driven game, it's really easy to spoil it by saying too much about it.
Yeah, that's right. But, I mean, yeah, look, hey, there are some zombies that you'll find from Until Dawn, and it will be you because you'll get fucking so into the game that you'll lose half the night and be like a zombie the next day.
Yeah.
That's the official word from thosegamers.com.
Yep, that's right.
Lego Dimensions. That launches the end of September. And that's going to be available for everyone. That's Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, and even on the Wii U.
On the Wii U actually gets a game that's coming to other consoles.
That's amazing.
Wii U. I feel just like Buddy Holly.
From Nintendo.
There's been lots of news coming out about Lego Dimensions. It just every day or two there's new information.
There seems to be a press release every other day coming out of the publishers for it too.
Yep, lots of info. We've seen the likes of Scooby-Doo gameplay, exploration, unlockable worlds. There's going to be a lot going on in Lego Dimensions.
There's going to be tons. It actually looks really, really fun from what I've been reading.
Yeah,
the way that you kind of work your way through the worlds, and whatever you've got in each world can be brought along into the next one. And
it honestly does look like a game that Mum and Dad are going to be just as happy playing as the kids.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of the Lego games for a long time, and Lego Dimensions has got me as excited as a kid having a Coke for the first time.
A Coke?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's like when you bloody... when
I don't know. How long did it take to escape Gloriavale?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Fuck this. I need a Coke.
That's right. So there you go.
Sorry, Ben. Sorry.
Yeah, all good.
Bringing your past into disrepute.
Oh, wouldn't be the first time.
That's right. We pretend you're from Australia, but we know it was Gloriavale.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I come from every dodgy place that the world has ever seen.
So yeah, what were you talking about?
Lego Dimensions.
Lego Dimensions.
Yep.
I hope that we get a copy to have a review of.
That is one that I'd love to see a review copy of as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What about something that came out just last week, not long after our last podcast, I believe? The Force is coming to the PlayStation 4 in a big way.
Oh, the limited edition console.
Darth
Oh,
Vader
what?
console.
The PS4 with a sticker on it.
I tell you what, though, out of all the limited edition consoles, that has got to be the best looking one, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that I was barred up all day when I saw that.
It's time to come to the dark side, Matty.
Well, you get me one, and I'll join you on the dark
That's
side.
right. I was daydreaming tonight that I wish I had one to give away.
I saw that.
Would you give it away, or would you give away the white one that you've currently got and say, "Oh, actually, they sent me the wrong one"?
I, believe it or not, for an Australian, I'd do the honest thing and give away the Darth Vader one.
No sneaky underarms.
Nah, well, you never know.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. But I'm not going to get one to give away anyway, so
Why not?
that's fine. Well, because if I had to spend my own money, I would just buy it for myself and give away the white one. But I'm pretty sure that the powers that be wouldn't be so kind as to hook me up with
Maybe if we combined our powers, we could get some sort of momentum going with them.
Maybe we need to start a GameCast Star Wars PS4 train.
Yeah.
And hope that it pulls into station.
And then Xbox might get jealous and throw stuff at us as well.
Yeah, and they might say, "Hey, Fid hasn't got an Xbox One. We should give him one."
Exactly. There we go. Yeah, that's what we want.
We're gonna get Matty a PS4, Fid an Xbox One, and we have to get a Star Wars PlayStation 4 to give away.
That's right. Yeah, and please, for the love of God, Nintendo, if you're listening, please don't feel the need to send me a Nintendo Wii U.
We could give it away.
Fuck this. Yeah, we
could try.
We'd need entries to be able to give it away, though, mate.
We can give it away to the op shop.
The Salvation Army.
That's right. Yeah.
If they take it.
Hey Matt, some news this week coming out of Microsoft.
Mm.
Must have got you a wee bit excited, being V8 Matty getting the V8 supercars on Forza Motorsport 6.
Yes. That's right. Ben's not the only one who's been barred up this week. 10 of the V8 supercars. That's 2 from each team, isn't it? Well, each manufacturer, rather. September 15th. I can't wait. Forza Motorsport 6, exclusively for Xbox One. And Mark Scaife even doing the voiceovers for the great race at Bathurst.
Scaife getting in there. Look at that.
Being the Australian and New Zealand gaming podcast, this here is one that's going to definitely resonate with the listeners. I think this is our motorsport.
It is, and you're going to be able to hoon around in the actual cars from the 2015 season.
Perfect. It's going to be awesome. The Forza games are some of the best racing games on the market. So.
And to top it off, not only is it a great game, but with those cars, it's not just Ford versus Holden anymore, you know?
No.
Your boy races with their Nissan affiliations will get on board. Yeah, your people that like their Euro cars, they're going to be involved too with the Mercs and the Volvos. I think it's going to make for some great online racing on Forza Motorsport 6.
Yeah, once upon a time, I would have said Gran Turismo was the best racing simulator, but I think Forza has taken the crown a long time ago.
Absolutely. I mean, 20 years ago, Gran Turismo first came out, roughly, wasn't it?
Yeah, roughly.
And I was a hardcore fan of Gran Turismo for the first couple. Even had a limited edition collector's set of Gran Turismo, I want to say 3, but it might have been 2, which was a beautiful big hard box with a metal plaque numbered on the front and a big colour book inside. It had a passport cover.
Oh, wow.
It had all sorts of goodies in it, and which I managed to acquire through a connection in the industry. Um,
Ask no names, I tell no lies.
No names.
Gran Turismo was revolutionary back in the day.
Oh, it was an amazing game, but
Forza is the new version, isn't it? I mean, it's
certainly taken the crown. I think it's, as well as going off and doing the whole Horizon thing as well, taking those mechanics onto the street.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. Yeah, and some people prefer Horizon to just straight Forza. I loved the graphical detail in Forza Horizon 2, but I still preferred the just more pure racing style of Forza 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the difference between the motorsport version, which is, I guess, the purer racing side of it, where you're on racetracks, it's all about racing, versus the Need for Speed kind of version, which is the Horizon games.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think they do a great job with both of them.
They do. They've done really well to put out two really quality titles to cater to both markets, because often you get when a studio or a franchise tries to cater to multiple markets, they inevitably end up butchering one. But so far, they've managed to not do that.
I would say that's what happened to the Need for Speed franchise. A long time ago, they were one of the greater games, and they lost their way massively.
I don't even know how they're still making Need for Speed games. There must only be about 6 people in the world that buy it.
They're all the same game over and over and over, aren't they?
Yeah. It got old. They never adapted, and
what they need to bring back is the Burnout one, where you smash and crash into each other.
Ah, yes.
Did you ever play that?
No.
Burnout World Tour or something. I forget what it was.
Yeah, I remember the one.
And similar to the Need for Speed ones, where or similar to Horizon as well, you're getting points for getting air and drifting and slamming other vehicles and stuff. And that was just amazing fun, that game.
Which actually makes me reminisce some more on, imagine if they brought out a revamped version of Demolition Derby.
That was one of the first titles I bought for my PlayStation 1.
Classic.
I never played it.
I loved it. It was a mindless, dumb game.
It was, yep.
Like, there was absolutely no point to the game. It was just hop in a car, drive around, smash shit.
What was the other one with the guns and stuff on the cars?
Oh, Twisted Metal?
Twisted Metal, that one.
Twisted Metal. That's actually on the PS Plus list this month.
I saw that, free for PlayStation 3.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, if you haven't played that, have a go, because that is fantastic, good fun. Back in the day, on the old PlayStation, that was the one.
Yeah, I loved Twisted Metal 2 World Tour. I think that was the best one.
Yeah, that had the crazy ice cream truck, and Spectre was one of my favourite vehicles.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I remember Spectre being one of the better ones.
It was fast, and he could go invisible, couldn't it?
I think so, yeah.
He had some sort of invisible mode, and it fired missiles, and that was always good.
Then you've got the pinnacle of car racing games. The pinnacle, the top, the king of the mountain.
Micro Machines racing around pool tables. That was awesome.
That was awesome. But no, Mario Kart on the Nintendo 64.
No. That is iconic, Mario Kart 64.
Oh dear.
But there's another podcast on our network to talk about
that. Back to Forza Motorsport 6. Now,
yes.
Not only are they bringing us the V8 racing, but there's going to be night racing, and the wet weather physics they've brought in look really amazeballs.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't remember the last time there was night racing with a proper racing game.
No.
No, not in a proper track motorsport style one.
Mm.
There we go. It's coming with realistic dynamic weather.
What else have we got at the moment? EA Access.
What's on that at the moment?
Either of you guys members with EA Access?
I was for a while and I gave it up.
Well, I'm only on the PS4, so I cannot get it, and they don't have it on PC yet either.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to pat them on the back with their early access to games. At the moment, they are throwing around Madden NFL 16. So you can jump in and you get to download and play the game for 10 hours. And then obviously anything that you've achieved through that carries over if you buy the game later on down the line. I think that's a really good feature.
Tool.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant marketing tool. Give you the first taste for free, and then you come and buy the crack later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's good too. I mean, it saves you wasting your money on the bad crack.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You know where to buy the good crack.
Yep, no one wants bad crack.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of EA, I have also been playing Rory McIlroy PGA Tour Golf.
What do you think of that? I had a wee go at it, but then I had people turn up and I had to jump off.
It's
just golf at the end of the day.
It's disappointing.
Is it? Can you get excited about a golf game?
I loved the Tiger Woods golf games, and
same.
Even the golf club on Xbox One. I thought the golf club was brilliant. This is the first sort of game for PGA Tour since the Tiger debacle. They had a year or so off.
Yeah, let it cool down a bit.
And it's underwhelming. For a game that's called the PGA Tour, it's watered down. It almost sets up like you're going to have this really cool, like, career progression, because you get to choose if you want to be like a prodigy who is this character who supposedly has been into golf since he was 2. Then there's like the college golf player who's going to turn pro, and then there's supposed to be like the golf instructor who becomes a pro and tries to make the tour.
Yeah.
So it all sounds like you can choose a character and then guide them on their path. But once you choose that character, all it does is give you a base level of stats, and then you never develop that character other than go on the tour.
Oh, so those you don't actually improve your stats as you go?
You do improve your stats, but there's no connection between...
Oh, with regards to the story, I suppose.
With regards to, I was a prodigy and now I'm doing this. There's no training or anything like that. It's just all on tour. And even stuff like real PGA Tour events are missing, and in their place are cheap EA marketing ploy tournaments like the BioWare Classic. So, and the level of golfers that you can be is disappointing. Not a lot of pros on there. Half the items you can buy, I think you've got to get to like level 50 before you can start buying clothes that aren't branded with EA Sports.
I'm always been disappointed with those games with the way they do the clothing and stuff. I would just like to see most of that stuff available at the beginning.
Yeah.
Especially clothes. It's one thing to earn some money and buy better equipment, clubs, balls, maybe even buy skills, but clothing, can't we just have the clothes and dress our character how we want them to look from the beginning?
Exactly.
I feel exactly the same way with that, like with the NBA games and the WWE games and all the sport games are exactly the same. But my son, he absolutely loves that function on NBA, on the NBA games. Like, he will save up all of his points so that he can buy new clothes. He doesn't bother with the skills and stuff like that. He wants to have his player look the best.
Yeah,
so
but
it's obviously for a certain market.
But I think if that stuff was available, he would dress him how he wanted him right at the start, and then actually try and progress through the game better.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
Yep. So, but no, PGA Tour is disappointing. I actually,
if you're a basic golf fan though, you're still going to enjoy playing the golf.
yeah, there's the basic golf was okay, but I think when you brand a game PGA Tour, you expect a bit more from it. It still annoys me that Augusta Masters isn't included.
Yeah, fair comment.
And it actually, as I thought about it more, I actually think that Rory McIlroy PGA Tour Golf is a game that maybe they wanted to make the game exactly like Rory McIlroy in that he has moments of brilliance on the golf course and then it all turns pear-shaped all too often and it's hard to watch. And
So
I feel like
they
PGA
should
Tour is like that.
they should have brought out Lydia Ko PGA Tour.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
well, so it just gets better and better and better and more amazing.
That's right.
Exactly.
And the tan on those legs. My goodness.
There you go. So, yeah, so that's my rant on golf.
That's your rant. Games with gold for September coming up. We've got on Xbox One the Deer God.
Yep, the Deer God. Don't know much about that one at all.
It's a side-scrolling one, and it's got a picture of a deer on it.
Right.
Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Excellent choice.
That's going to be a big one.
Yep.
That's also Xbox One. That one's available from halfway through September.
Yep.
On Xbox 360, from the start of the month, we've got Battle Stations Pacific.
Yes.
That, if you're into your war games, you'll probably enjoy. And then for the second half of September on Xbox 360, you've got Crisis 3.
Crisis 3.
I've never really done much with the Crisis series, so I'm not too familiar with those. But if you're on Xbox One, obviously you're going to be able to get those 360 versions and play them as well once November rolls around.
Yep. And I've got to actually really commend Microsoft because for far too long, the lineup for Xbox One was just absolutely pathetic. But the last few months, they've really upped the game with the likes of Black Flag, Metal Gear Solid, Ground Zeroes, and now Tomb Raider.
Yep.
So good on them for actually rewarding gamers with some quality games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I was working out today what sort of value you're getting for your Xbox Live Gold membership. Now, the typical New Zealand price is $80 for a 12-month subscription, and that works out to about $1.50 a week.
Less than a cup of coffee.
Much less than a cup of coffee. So, considering the free games that you're getting every month, and from November, that'll be basically 4 free games on your Xbox One every month. So, $1.50 a game every week.
Yeah.
Is one way to look at it. Which is great value, even if you don't like the games. Shit, you still got to keep them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on the PlayStation, we had the free games or the instant game collection switch up the way they do things this month. It was the first time we've had the chance to vote for one of the games. So we all got a choice of Amarillo, Zombie Vikings, or Grow Home. And
the hell's is Grow Home a weed
not grow
growing?
At home, not grow your
that's
own.
What I thought too, Matt. Apparently it's not. So I think that's how they got a lot of votes. People didn't realise what it was.
All the stoners were into it. Like, yeah. I'll have a bit of this growing at home action. Yep. Put me down for that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll read you the official word on Grow Home. Grow Home is an adorable game about Bud.
That's what I said.
Yeah, the botanical utility droid who is traveling the stars in search of new flora to help his home planet. But it was a game that has had amazing reception from people who have played it previously, and it has stomped its way into being the first free game out of this choose your
it smoked
games.
the opposition, did it? Hey?
But for those who voted for Amarillo and Zombie Vikings, it is going to be available with a 30% discount.
30% off.
Yeah. The other 3 games that are available are going to be for the PlayStation 4, Super Time Force Ultra, Grad, Zeo Driver. So, in actual fact, we're only getting one great game this month for the PS4.
Yeah, the Deer God's starting to look good on Xbox One, isn't it?
But for the PS3, they get one great title that, as we mentioned earlier, they're getting Twisted Metal, as well as Tesla Grad. And on the PS Vita, it will be La Mulana EX, and Zeo Drifter will be available on the Vita as well.
There you go.
And
So
I'll tell you
games.
what, one thing I like about PlayStation is we don't have to wait for this half-monthly crap that you guys have to wait for on the Xbox. We get the whole lot in one hit.
Yeah.
Well, there's no fun in that.
I tell you what I'm liking that Xbox have finally started doing, though, and it annoyed me for a long time. When they finally started saying, oh, we're going to do this 2 games on Xbox One, but they just frigging carried one game over for 2 months. I'm glad they've got rid of that bullshit.
Yeah.
Because that was some serious BS. You were still effectively only getting 1 free game a month.
Yeah.
Because you can't download the same game the next month unless you're a complete muppet.
Well, you could delete it and re-download it every month if you wanted.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the next podcast, I should have had a go at Mega Man Legacy by then. Sadly, my copy that was kindly supplied to me by thosegamers.com to review, when it downloaded, it just did not work. I've just, during this podcast, downloaded a patch for it, and it's now functioning, so I'll be able to have a chat about that on the next show.
Nice. And if you head on over to thosegamers.com, I've put up there's a dedicated competitions page now. We've got that Until Dawn one running at the moment, which we mentioned earlier. And I've also got a copy of Helldivers Super Earth Ultimate Edition to give away on PS4 as well.
Well, that sounds exciting. What's the gist of that, do you know?
Yeah, sort of a top-down style shooter where you're these group of Helldivers who scour the universe, killing an insane amount of enemy scum.
Nice.
We've also got another announcement to make regarding GameCast, and that our next show we will actually be doing live.
No. Stop.
We will be. We will be doing it live.
How do we do that?
We will be doing it live as part of the KiwiCast fundraiser for Rebuild Christchurch.
So we'll be recording it live?
We will be recording it live, but you'll be able to watch us do it live on the KiwiCast fundraiser.
You can watch us do it live.
Do it live. Hopefully Fid leaves his dirty tranny at home.
But I'm actually really looking forward to this. I think the KiwiCast is a awesome event. They've done it last year. This is the first time they've done it this year.
Fantastic cause.
Yeah, raising money to rebuild Christchurch. And we're doing another giveaway as part of the KiwiCast. And you can go now to kiwi-cast.co.nz and start donating to this cause right now, because whoever donates the highest amount between now and when we go live with our podcast on the KiwiCast, we will be giving away another copy of Until Dawn to that person.
There you go.
That's for the single largest donation.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
And that is going to be live in, I'm just looking at the dates now, trying to make sure.
16 days, 13 hours, 55 minutes, and a few seconds.
Which is going to be completely wrong by the time you're hearing this podcast.
That's right, yep. So get in there, donate big, get yourself a free copy of until dawn. Well, it's not really free. You've kind of paid for it in a roundabout kind of a way. But that's not the point. You were paying to help Christchurch, and
That's
we
right.
are rewarding your generosity with generosity of our own.
So this starts 11 a.m. on September the 12th until September the 13th. So this is going to be a straight 30-hour live gaming stream.
Shit, a 30-hour podcast.
Well, no, we're on it for an hour.
Oh, jeez. Thank goodness.
So we're going to have to fill a whole hour.
Wow.
I know, right? But they were also wanting us to hang around for a bit afterwards because they reckon they got some challenges for us to do.
Right. That's between 3 a.m. and 11 a.m.
So yeah, get to kiwi-cast.co.nz or find their Facebook page, click on there, like their page, put some donations in there now, and you can win an awesome game from us. And it's actually the first time we're going to be in the same room at the same time doing this podcast.
It will be scary. Who knows what could happen.
We may not actually like each other, seeing each other face to face in the same room.
I would recommend, Fid, that you bring some links with you, mate.
Not a problem. Sorted. On the list.
Yeah, and I will probably wear a balaclava to hide my hideous deformities.
Good idea.
Yeah.
We'll know who you are because you'll be wearing the Ninja Turtle onesie.
That's right. Yeah. It'll either be that or a trench coat.
Hey,
I would like to see the onesie.
I was going to say that I'm not going to be happy unless you turn up in the onesie.
Yeah, I reckon I can do it. Absolutely.
There's a challenge.
Oh, mate, that's no problem at all.
I have to turn up because Fid can't drive, so I'm going to have to get him there.
Shall I bring both onesies and I could do a onesie modelling contest?
I tell you what, bro, if you wear your Ninja Turtle onesie, I will come dressed in my Superman onesie.
Done. It's on.
Done. Deal.
And Matt, you need to get a onesie. It's going to be the onesie GameCast.
Oh, if only I had a onesie.
Just wear a bed sheet. That's close enough.
I'll whip out the mankini.
Yeah, perfect.
Done. It's worth tuning in, guys.
I'll get my tats out.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So that's September 12, the next episode of GameCast, the Trans-Tasman Gaming Podcast.
Yeah.
All right, dickheads, are we done?
I think so.
Yep. I'll throw an intro at the start of this one. We don't need to introduce ourselves each week.
But how will they know who I am?
Oh,
that's right.
They'll find a Huawei sign somewhere, mate. You'll be right.
That's right. Yeah. Everyone recognises Fid and I anyway for our Lenovo or Huawei comments.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm still pure.
Brandless.
I don't know how that happened. I'm officially Fid's sidekick now. If you're following him on Twitter, you'll know that.
You and Carissa are my sidekicks.
That's right.
Yep. So there you go. Look, if you are listening and you have goods that you need endorsed, we have a struggling tech gamer who is having to console himself.
That's right. A 2015 New Zealand Radio Award winner.
That's right. Who needs to feel the love and give.
I need to feel the love. I've got so much love to give.
Yes.
It's just not right. You can't be the only one in this crew who has not whored himself to a tech company yet.
I did send an email to a tech company this week.
Okay.
To Cronus Max.
Yeah.
That sounds like a porn company.
Cronus Max Plus. I'm trying to get them to send me one, but they've not responded.
Not responded. Those dirty bastards.
It's been 48 hours. No reply.
And you're willing to whore yourself for these guys?
Well, I mean, they've only got 744 followers on Twitter. But
759. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, 759. It's gone up since I started following them.
Yeah, see, look, your impact has already had effect.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Now, their product doesn't seem to be available anywhere in New Zealand except from Mighty Ape.
Yep.
Wow.
And it's $110.
And what do Cronus Max do?
The Cronus Max Plus is a USB dongle, and it's so that you can use accessories with other machines. Like if you wanted to use your Xbox One controller on your PS4, or your Logitech G27 steering wheel with your Xbox One.
Get out. No.
Yeah, mate.
That sounds like an awesome
That
device.
sounds kick-ass.
It sounds kick-ass, and there's no coverage of it here in New Zealand. They've been around for a while. This is the version 3, the Cronus Max Plus.
Yeah.
So it's the third version of it. They're based, I think, in Quebec, Canada. They seem to have retail, distributors in most places around the world.
Yep.
All the big places, but there's not much here at all. And the only place I can find it where you can actually buy it directly in New Zealand is as I say, through Mighty Ape.
But we don't know yet whether this thing works. So what they need is someone with a great amount of influence, say a New Zealand Radio Award winner, to get hold of their device, use it, review it, and then talk about how amazing it is on all of their social media outlets. On the radio and on their podcast.
It's exactly what I want to do.
Yep.
So I think if we include this bit of conversation in I'll make sure this shows up in the podcast, and we can tag those mofo's in.
Yeah, well, they're about to get a lot more exposure.
There's over 4 million New Zealanders here that don't know what this product is.
I'd never heard of it.
Yeah,
I'd never heard of it either, buddy.
Awesome.
And you guys both run tech websites.
I've never heard of it myself, buddy. I don't know about you, guy, but I've never heard of it, buddy.
Yeah.
Who was that? Someone's hacked our podcast.
The bloody Canadian.
What's it all about, eh?
Perfect.
So yeah.
All right, buddy.
Hey, guy. I really want to try one of those out to see if it really will make my Logitech steering wheel work on the Xbox One. Because even if I have to buy it myself for $110, that is a shit ton cheaper than buying a steering wheel for the Xbox One.
Hell yes.
Yeah, because I mean, you've said previously before that the only reason you bought the steering wheel for your PC and basically moved your car racing gaming over to the PC was purely because of the price of the steering wheel for the Xbox One.
Yeah, the Xbox One licensing for their accessories is just off the hook. It's crazy. Especially with the new Logitech G920, I think it's called, the Xbox One steering wheel.
Yeah.
What's that retailing for? About $550?
Yeah, about that.
Something crazy.
Expensive.
And it's essentially exactly the same as the old G27, which you can get for about $300. So I mean, it's almost twice the price for the same technology. Inside, it'll be exactly the same shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd be all for this thing too, because the biggest thing that annoys me about my PS4 is how short the battery life is on the controller. So if I could sub in my Xbox One controller, giddy up, spank my ass and call it hairy.
The only thing though is that you'll have to have it plugged in.
All right.
Via the USB.
That's not the end of the world.
No, and I mean for a steering wheel or something like that, who cares? Yeah. But I mean, if you want to use your Xbox controller on your PS4, you're just going to lose that wireless functionality. But you basically just plug it into your PC. You go through the menus. Apparently, there's lots of custom setups as well that users can submit for different button configurations and what it can and can't do. So you just select what device you want to use it on, what device you want to use it with, and it basically just programs the little controller, and then that goes in between the two. So,
Sam,
there's heaps of good feedback that I've seen online about it from other countries that are considered more important than us.
Nice.
We're untapped market.
Sounds like it's worth getting a look at.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll hear something back from them. If not, I might try just bombing them with emails every day for a while.
Twitter them, and then we can retweet and favorite and all that shit.
And if you're listening to this and you've got a Twitter account, flick a tweet to them and say, give Maddie one of these to try out for this amazing podcast that I listen to.
That's right. And I will be tweeting about it the next couple of days. I'm going to start this campaign to get one of these things and try it out. And if it works, well, shit. You guys will buy them.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I'd buy one.
I've got a couple of guaranteed sales if it does what it says.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to buy this unless I've got a first-hand review from someone.
Exactly. It's a foreign product. We don't trust foreigners.
No.
It was hard enough getting to let me on this show.
That's right, Ben. You've crossed a line.
It was a security check.
Yep, I failed. That's why I got in.
Yep. Yep, you had a long enough rap sheet that we thought you qualified.
The key there is when you have so many offences, it sort of bamboozles people, and they can't remember what you actually did, which is fantastic.
That's right.
All right. Well,
good work, gentlemen.
#me.co.nz